God bless you as we continue listening into the letter that Paul wrote to the church in Rome that he might as well have written to us today. He's describing the culture of people who fold their arms and set their jaw and say, there is no God. I will be my own consequences. Of that decision to reject the clear evidence, to ignore the proclamations of the stars and the declaration of the wind and the waves, and to say there is no God. This all happened by accident. Result resulted. Paul wrote about it in the 1st century in the same thing that it results in today. Consequence catastrophic. This is what Paul describes in Romans 1:4. Therefore, God gave them over in the lusts of their hearts to impurity, so that their bodies would be dishonored among them. I like to compare the New Living Translation. They've done a pretty good job. I still cling to the New American Standard Bible because it's so literal and bringing the translation word meaning for meaning into the English language, word for word. But that makes it a little more awkward. Get the pretty accurate translation. The New Living Translation uses words like "vile," describing the consequence, where God says, okay, I gave you your free will. You're exercising your free will in rejecting the clear truth. So I am going to withdraw, going to abandon you to your desires. Happens then, catch the last half of that verse, the hearts become more and more impure, and the bodies, they use their bodies in vile and disgusting. That's really the idea. Impurities. Hearts become impure, and the way they use their bodies, he's talking about specifically sexual immorality, crossing the boundaries, and then there's no boundary. If we ignore God's clear boundaries for physical intimacy, then there is no stopping point. There is no boundary. Watching that happen in our culture again in this age, this day. We look around the United States, see what people are doing with their bodies. It is vile and disgusting from God's perspective. So we need to be careful in our own heart and not allow the culture to weigh our view of righteousness, of right and wrong, of good and evil, of debauchery and holiness. And that can only be done. Cling to the word of God as we love the boundaries that God has set down for us, knowing that he's done it for our good. These boundaries that God lays down, marriage is between one man and one woman. There are two genders, and no one is ever born in the wrong body. Boy is a boy and a girl is a, it's God's design. Now, people obviously rebel against God's boundaries, but the consequences of that rebellion and that rejection are disastrous. If we absolutely refuse to acknowledge the lordship, authority of Jesus in and over our life, he will, in his consistency, abandon impurities of our own lusts. And then, unless there is a conversion, hope. Thank God for his grace and mercy. Whenever anyone encounters the truth, even if they're living motivated by an impure heart, doing disastrous things with their bodies, and they come to the realization, they come to their senses that this is wrong and they want a right relationship with God, in His mercy and His grace, He extends that opportunity over and over every day. As long as you have breath, there is hope and opportunity to be restored, redeemed, rescued, resurrected, all those good R words that God accomplishes. Jesus Christ, because He loves you.